This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So I want to give you my thoughts on this particular subject, which is Eddie Hearn has responded to Frank Warren by saying that Frank Warren, he should give it up, quit, leave boxing, retire, all that kind of stuff. And he's responding to Frank Warren, who then responded to Eddie Hearn initially, which was Eddie Hearn, he kind of kicked it off when he was talking about Daniel Dubois. He was questioning the validity, the legitimacy of the eye injury of Daniel Dubois, suggesting that maybe that Daniel Dubois, there was something a bit deeper going on. In other words, he's got quit in his heart. And he suggested that Daniel Dubois, he hasn't been managed correctly, guided correctly. He's been fighting at English level, and he gets thrown in against Joyce. Wrong thing to do, yada, yada, yada. Now, Frank Warren, he then responds and has a go at Eddie Hearn and points out the contradictions that Eddie Hearn has done in the past by throwing certain fighters in the deep end and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of went that way where Frank Warren, he did, I'm led to believe he got hold of IFL TV to ask to have another interview just so he could have a go at Eddie Hearn. Well, Eddie Hearn has responded with, at the end of the day, you should retire, give it up, you don't need all this kind of aggro in your life. I don't particularly need it either, all that kind of thing, because what Frank Warren can't do, and this is from Eddie Hearn, what Frank Warren can't do is not take criticism when his guy loses. When Dillian Whyte, when he lost to Povetkin, Frank Warren, he come out with the no more mandatory, singing that song to Dillian Whyte, gloating that Dillian Whyte lost. Okay, so Eddie Hearn was giving it back. And that's pretty much what it is that he's saying to Frank Warren. Now, for me, what does this spell? This spells that these guys ain't going to have their meeting. They're not going to meet up. They're not going to talk. They're not going to put on shows together. So all of that was just pie in the sky, wasn't it? Now, I know I did a video on this yesterday, and it will pop up at some point during this video, or it will pop up at the end of this video, where Eddie Hearn, for me, what Eddie Hearn is saying, while there might be some honesty to it, where he truly believes that maybe Daniel Dubois, he did quit, he does have quit in his heart, and there's a bit more to it than maybe what there really was, all that kind of thing. And it's fine for anybody to say that. Everybody is, of course, entitled to their own opinion. But Frank Warren is correct as well, where it is a little bit of hypocrisy from Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn has done very similar things to this in the past himself. But Eddie Hearn is also correct. How can Frank Warren not take the criticism when he was the one gloating that Dillian Whyte lost? It's tit for tat stuff. That's pretty much what it is. But as far as Frank Warren giving it up, retiring, I know a lot of people will probably agree with that. Personally, I don't. The more promoters that there are around, the better. I don't want to see Queensbury go under. I have no idea if Francis or Alfie Warren or whoever else will be willing to take it over from Frank. Are they capable of taking it over from Frank? Is Frank willing to give them a shot? Maybe he likes to keep on promoting. I don't know. But for me, I don't want to see Frank Warren retire. The more shows he puts on, the better. Because what I don't want is Frank Warren, Queensbury dispersing, and then Eddie Hearn has the monopoly. Because then, Matchroom, they can afford to be lazy. Because boxing fans ain't going to go nowhere else. Because there's nowhere else to go here in the UK as far as TV and that is concerned. Of course, we've got Mick Hennessy in that as well, which is great. So for me, the more boxing promoters that there is, the better. I don't particularly like the bickering between Hearn and Warren, but it's business versus business, isn't it? They're both going to have their ideals, and they're both going to disagree on certain things. But hopefully, they do actually start working together. But this is not a good sign, is it? It really isn't. They're back to how it once was. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click a thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.